Rant summer is here. Head on over to AJsRANTroom.com. We got all of your summer needs covered. From bathing suits to swim trunks, flip-flops and tote bags, towels, tanks, and muscle shirts. Oh, and you can't forget about the visors and the hats. It's lit. So head on over to AJsRANTroom.com and get your summer poppin'. You won't be disappointed. It's always lit over at AJsRANTroom.com. We got the best bags and accessories, our beloved Black Series. We got fresh lids for you hat lovers, fire jackets and hoodies, and of course we got you covered on the t-shirts. And introducing our first shoe line, Aloysius Germain. So get on over to AJsRANTroom.com today and get to shopping. You won't be disappointed. Yes, sir. Happy Tuesday. Shout out to Jennifer, Amy, Cajun. Shout out to everybody else watching across other platforms. Appreciate you. We're 15 minutes late today. It was a late morning. Forgive me. But we here. We made it. And we have a lot to cover. So let's get into some things. So let's start with one of my favorite journeyman quarterbacks, Teddy Bridgewater. Now, why did Teddy Bridgewater get suspended from his coaching job, from his high school coaching job? Why did he get suspended? Oh, was he doing something nefarious? No. Was he a bad coach? No. He was nice. Homeboy got suspended for being nice. Teddy Bridgewater suspended from Miami Northwestern coaching job. Former NFL quarterback Teddy Bridgewater has been suspended from his position as a high school football coach in Miami for allegedly providing impermissible benefits to his players. You're going to hear about these impermissible items in a moment. Bridgewater, 32, confirmed his suspension. I can barely hear myself. Bridgewater, 32. There we go. I can hear myself now. Bridgewater, 32, confirmed his suspension by Miami Northwest in a Facebook post Sunday, but said he remains committed to his alma mater. Quote, the suspension came from MNW, and it's impossible to suspend someone who doesn't work for you. So if I'm suspended from MNW, I'm free to go to another school of my choice, and I'm not going anywhere. And if it comes down to it, I will volunteer from the bleachers like I used to in 2018 and 2019 when no one had a problem. Bridgewater led Miami Northwest to a Class 3A state championship in his first season as coach in 2024. He returned to the NFL in December to serve as Jared Goff's backup with the Detroit Lions, but did not appear in a regular season game. In the playoffs, he completed his only pass attempt for 3 yards in a 45-31 loss against the Washington Commanders in the divisional round. That was a heartbreaking loss, but it is what it is. Bridgewater posted earlier this month on Facebook that he paid for Uber rides, meals, and recovery services for his players last season. He asked fans to donate to help cover such expenses this year. He said in the post confirming his suspension that he self-reported the payments to Miami Northwestern. The Florida High School Athletic Association confirmed to Rivals on Monday that it is gathering more information. This is bullcrap. So, because he has the means, I mean, he doesn't need this job, but there's some people who love what they do. He is one of the, like I said, one of the great journeyman quarterbacks. He loves what he does. So he's being suspended for providing Uber rides, meals, and recovery services. Well, get y'all a Teddy Bridgewater on y'all team and stop being jealous. Oh, the horror. Oh, he's terrible. What a horrible human being. Throw him away. This is one of the good dudes in the NFL. And the fact that people want to play to the rules when it's convenient for them. Like, you don't think any of these other coaches are paying for things for their players? They are. They just can't do it like Teddy Bridgewater, who has made a bit more money in the NFL. I don't understand how you get punished for helping the kids. Meanwhile, kids were being abused for years. And those coaches kept their jobs up until they couldn't ignore it anymore, right? Interesting. Again, he has options, and he's choosing to stay with his alma mater. So that just shows what a stand-up duty is. He's still, he can still go back into the NFL as a backup this upcoming season. So he has a lot of options, again. This is ridiculous, and to be so jealous and to be so petty and to get someone in trouble because he's paying for recovery services for his athletes. Well, and then he asked people to help. It's not Teddy Bridgewater's fault that he has more pull than the rest of y'all. Yeah. Pull your resources and get your players the same recovery efforts. It's ridiculous. Stop playing in our face, people. But I'll follow the story. Teddy Bridgewater will be vindicated, I do believe, because this is just a bunch of malarkey, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, moving on to our favorite. To our favorite homie, to our favorite former president, who probably still doesn't know when he was president, Joe Byron is in the news, of course. His auto pen scandal and Dr. Fauci possibly, getting his pardon reversed, a whole bunch of stuff going on. But let's unpack this Fox News.
Now Donald Trump is responding to Joe Biden giving an interview to the New York Times where he dismissed the use of the auto pen. So listen to what Donald Trump said.
You're talking about the auto pen. Look, the auto pen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years. I guarantee he knew nothing about what he was signing. I guarantee it. You know what the auto pen is supposed to do? Sign thousands of letters from young people that write. We get thousands of letters a week, Susie, right? Thousands. I mean, tens of thousands sometimes. I look at there's a room where we have many, many people working, responding and sending letters back. That's what an auto pen's supposed to be. To write to a young 7-year-old boy that writes to the president and he wants to be president someday and he loves America. That's what the auto pen's supposed to be.
No. Exactly. Now, it's not completely wrong to use an auto pen, but there's certain parameters, right? You can't just recklessly allow somebody who isn't you to use your signature for things you didn't approve. That's where it comes into play. That's where Joe Biden should have. I don't even get why he did the interview. Why did he talk? Why did he talk at all? Again, the best option, especially when you're that stupid and old, is to shut up. Joe Biden has never been a smart man. He's never been smart. No one's ever accused him of being brilliant. And now you're stupid and you're senile and you're a cancer patient. Shut up. Just shut up. We don't need you. Like, you literally just told on yourself, bro. You literally just made it worse.
Keep in mind, with the auto pen, he reduced the sentences of convicts, 4,000 plus, including 1,500 individuals. 1,500 individuals. It was described as the largest single-day act of clemency by a U.S. president. And in this 10-minute interview, Joe Biden admits, I told them the criteria for the people that I would pardon.
Bullshit. He didn't even come up with that word criteria.
Didn't necessarily mention the name or sign off on all of them individually. Zeitz and Siskel both did this. So we don't still know after that 10-minute interview about what went on with the pardons.
So back in July of 2023, Rand Paul referred Dr. Fauci to the DOJ for lying under oath, said that Fauci's own email contradicted his sworn testimony. This was his sworn testimony before he was pardoned.
The NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan Institute
Do they fund
of
Dr.
Virology.
Barrick?
We do not fund.
Do you fund Dr. Barrick's gain-of-function research?
Dr. Barrett does not doing gain-of-function research, and if it is, it's according to the guidelines, and it is being conducted in North Carolina.
So, Lawrence, the question is, who pardoned him? Was it Joe Biden?
No, it wasn't Joe Biden. Joe Biden wasn't making decisions. Let's stop acting like this man was cognizant and aware and alert enough to be a boss. Joe Biden wanted to die a president. This was his third time trying, and he was going to bend and yield any way he needed to be a president. So that when he dies, he gets the big state funeral and all of the good accoutrements that go with it. And when you have a wife like Jill Biden, who is power hungry, who literally abused, like the elder abuse, the fact that they went forward with a re-election bid to begin with tells you how ridiculous this all is. And the fact that they gaslit us, remember cheat fakes? I'm going to press secretary, cheat fakes. Oh, yeah, this is right-wing conspiracy theories. This is not happening. This is not happening. What's wrong with you? This was y'all. And it wasn't until June when he got on that debate stage, was a bumbling pile of shit, that you could no longer deny it. Although we have been saying things for 4 years at that point. But no. It's not until it's broadcast under the hottest lights, a presidential debate, that's when everybody's watching. And now we can say, this is what we were saying the whole time. Y'all knew this was going on the whole time. But no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to acknowledge the problem. We're going to keep covering it up. We're going to keep gaslighting you. Joe Biden didn't know what he was approving. Joe Biden wasn't even running his own damn what are the meetings? The cabinet meetings. He wasn't even running those. When Hunter at one point and then Jill. Come on, people. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. And they saw the internal polling. They knew that this man was not going to win. 81 million votes you were not going to get again unless you invented another pandemic or some other crisis that would force people to stay home. Because COVID was the biggest con of the 21st century so far. Did COVID exist? Yes. Was COVID a bad thing? Yes. Did people pass away? Yes. But the overreaction, not warranted. I lived in LA when COVID first broke out. You would have thought it was like the Thriller video. You would have thought people would have been laying on the ground and just dead. Oh, God. We had a curfew. We had to stand on these long lines outside of Walmart and Target, but we couldn't go to church. We couldn't go to the gym. And when we could finally get back in the gym, we had to wear a mask. If you ever ran on a treadmill with a mask on, that's not like a professional mask that's supposed to help you breathe. No. One of the greatest cons of the 21st century. Literally. It was all about stealing an election. I don't give a fuck what YouTube does. We couldn't say COVID. We couldn't say there was election problems. We couldn't say anything. People lost social media platforms. People lost jobs. Doctors were shunned for saying this isn't what they're saying it is. You couldn't go see your dying loved one in the hospital. You couldn't watch your own child be born. One of the greatest cons ever. Dr. Fauci is a piece of shit. Imagine if the beginning of the HIV pandemic, epidemic in this country was preempted by a responsible person, not Dr. Fauci and his crew of cronies who was busy having a dick measuring contest with France about this virus instead of being proactive about it. We wouldn't even have an HIV issue at this point. But no. So Dr. Fauci and his bullshit goes back many decades. And it's finally catching up to you. And Donald Trump, this is why I say there was a blessing. It was a blessing that he had this break between terms. Because that first term, he just got in there. And it was just a whole lot of stuff that he didn't know. Again, like everybody says, even when Barack Obama went in there, and nobody really knows what that job is until you're in there, right? Nobody knows till you get that first briefing. And it's like, oh, cool. and then you realize, okay, this is an insurmountable task. And you have 4 years, 8 if you're lucky. But he needed that 4-year break to really put it together the way he saw it. And it turned out to be a blessing. So I don't care. Do whatever y'all want with this video, YouTube. You call me conspiracy theories, but we're FBI is just about to turn up the heat on the 2020 election. Actually, I think the last 3 elections. I think they said they're going to do a deep dive in a thorough investigation on. But anyway, I digress. Back to the dementia monkey.
Was it some staffer that made the decision with the auto pen? And that's why Rand Paul is referring Dr. Fauci again, re-referring him to the DOJ.
This is what they're saying right here. The New York Times reports Fauci was quietly pardoned by an auto pen operated by Biden's staff. If the president didn't authorize this pardon personally, then the department has a duty to investigate and prosecute as it would any ordinary citizen. Fauci has been sainted by the extreme left, but it doesn't erase his lying before Congress. And you clearly see he lied before Congress.
Well, I would add this, that Jeff Zients was the COVID czar before he became chief of staff for Joe Biden.
Yeah.
So he's the one signing off on this criteria. I just thought it was very interesting in that story. I'm reading the story. Can we get of Joe Biden's 10-minute interview with the New York Times? And it talks about why he's out there and saying, I was in charge of my administration. Why is he doing that? Because Jill Biden's chief of staff, Anthony Burnell, is going to testify this week. Because last week his doctor took the fifth rather than say what.
Damage control, people. Damage control. We got to stop it. You got to stop the bleeding. We got to stop the bleeding, people. Because if we don't stop the bleeding, then poor Joey. We're going to expose Joey for the bullshit fraud he is. Joey, your best option is just silence. Because I believe, I don't know if this is a real quote, but I believe it was speculated that Barack Obama said you could always, something along the lines of, you can always count on Joe to fuck it up. You can always count on Joe Byron to fuck it up. Always. Ever and ever and always. Save. Continue. Great. Really? Really, really? Hold on. We're having technical problems. These mofos. What are y'all trying to do? No. Hold on. I got to remix some articles here. Matter of fact, who cares? Okay. Moving on. Wait. Did I have anything else to say? Yeah, we'll see where this goes. I do believe there is something there with this auto pen situation. I do believe Joe Biden said more than he was supposed to, and this is why he was so well scripted during his presidency. This is why they didn't allow him to do off the cuff interviews. This is why he was so guarded, because they knew this man wasn't in great condition. You're not running your own staff meetings, man. You took more vacations than any president in history. Yeah, that's a problem. Knocked out on the beach, like an old person should. Here's the thing: some people grow old, and they still have spunk and energy, and they can still go. You're just not one of those people. You're just not one of those 80-year-olds who can still go and really get things done and be half aware and still run things. This presidency is one of the greatest cons in American history. And I always say, look at the fruit it bore. Look at the fruit that that Biden presidency bore. You got in there on 81 million votes and you shit the bed. So after you shit the bed, you want to convince us that you were a great president. You weren't a great president. You were a pawn in a greater political machine that bought you the presidential title that you wanted. So that when you go on to glory, you will be in the history books as a president, a one-term president, a one-term Democrat president. We had one of those in a long time. What was the last one-term Democrat president? Jimmy Carter? I think it was Jimmy Carter. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. This is not a good look. This is just it's horrible, not just for the Democrat Party, but for politics in general. It's just not a good look. And this is the party that kept screaming, no one's above the law, no one's above the law, no one's above the law, but no one's above the law until it's Joe Biden's family, Joe Biden's staff, the people who protected Joe Biden. Everybody can be subject to the law except that family. Think about it. Very interesting. And then also look at the way, remember, Trump was considering, he didn't do it, but he was considering giving his family preemptive pardons. The family that worked in the administration are considering giving them preemptive pardons. And the way the media handled that versus the way they handled Biden, who literally lied in our faces, not the same. When Trump did it, oh, this is overreach. This is unconstitutional. It was well within his rights, right? This mushmouth does it. oh, we don't see a problem. This is, him protecting his family. He's a great family man. This man is a piece of shit. Stop it. Stop it. Yes, yes, yes. We found a whole 8-ball in the damn White House, but your son is great. If that was Donald Trump Jr.'s laptop or Eric Trump's laptop, hell, if it was Tiffany Trump's laptop, they'd be under the jail right now. Under the jail. But no. What you get when you're a Biden, you get the story suppressed so that your half-dead father can become president. That's what you get when you're a Biden. That's what you get. You don't get it reported accurately. You don't get people really coming after the story. You get people running cover for you. And it's absolutely absurd. But let me move along. I talked way longer about this than I had anticipated. But I had a little bit to say. Oh, wait, I'm missing something here. Hold on before we move on. How did I miss that? I don't even know. Just open this one. All right, cool. Remove. So there we go. No, not Teddy. Not that bimbo. That bimbo. There we go. So should President Donald John Trump sue the performative activist? I'm sorry, this thing is not in mirror mode, so I don't know which way to point. There we go. That way. There we go. That thing. I don't like this mode. It makes my face look like I have Down syndrome or something. Sorry, random. I'm sorry. Just my personal, my private thoughts creeping out as I look at the image. Anyway, so AOC, I guess she's not aware that Donald Trump has been winning defamation lawsuits recently. Took to her X account and said this. Wow, who would have thought that electing a rapist would have complicated the release of the Epstein files? First of all, you bimbo, you fake New Yorker, you don't give a damn about the Epstein files. You give a damn about politics. Plain politics. You don't give a damn about these victims. For if you did, when Joe Biden was president, all of this should have been exposed under Joe Biden, but you don't give a fuck about these victims. You don't give a fuck about Jeffrey Epstein. You don't give a fuck about anybody who's been traumatized in this. What you care about is placating to these brain dead, disease spreading, mentally deranged people who support you. That's what you that's your claim. That's what you're interested in. You're not interested in right and wrong, because if you were interested in right and wrong, you would have pressed Joe Biden to look into the Epstein whole thing. But you didn't. You didn't press Joe Biden. So now the question is, should Donald Trump file a lawsuit against this bimbo? Let's be very, very clear. I don't think this woman is smart. She's a plant. They found a vulnerable congressional district in New York City to place her in. They hired her because they knew they can control her. She was a broke. She never had any real money. And this was her come up. the Democrat socialist who has benefited immensely from capitalism. The hair got better, the clothes got better, the lifestyle got better. She got a white man. Everything's great. But she's on a baby girl. Baby girl. I think he should sue the pants off of her. Did we not understand what happened at ABC when George Stephanopoulos set his short ass up there while he was interviewing Congresswoman Nancy Mace and kept saying that Donald Trump was convicted of rape? Did she not get the memo on how that ended? When I say Donald Trump's going to have an amazing presidential library, courtesy of first ABC and then CBS, who doctored a Kamala Harris interview, which is basically election interference, to make a bimbo still sound incoherent, but not as dumb. Yeah, you're still dumb as a box of rocks, but we're going to make you sound less dumb. Oh, Cammy. Have we learned nothing? Then remember he sued the pollster in Iowa, because remember when that poll came out that Iowa, Kamala Harris is up 4 points in Iowa. Oh my God, she's gonna take Iowa. Remember that for like 3 seconds? We were hosting live streams and people were coming in. Oh my God, Kamala is leading in Iowa, right? She's leading Iowa, and we were all perplexed, like how are you leading in Iowa? Come to find out, he handily won Iowa. But he sued that pollster, but he withdrew the case. I would have went forward with it. Sue everybody. Now you see, it's crazy when you have like the View starts reading legal notices because they know better now. ABC is corporate; they know better. Like, okay, y'all can go over here and pop all the stuff y'all want, but we got to read the legal notices at the end, right? So calling this man a rapist, he ain't been convicted of a rape. The only reason why that ugly woman came forward was because there was a payday involved. And if you watch that, what was her name? E. Jean Carroll. If you watch her interview with Anderson Cooper before she got the PR team to like tame her, wacky, clearly lying. If you've ever met someone who's been violated in that way, they're not talking about it like it's a fucking romance novel. They're not. They're not. Oh, I think rape is sex. Who the fuck says that? Who says that? Who says that? A victim will not say that. I don't know anyone who thinks rape is sexy. And if you think rape is sexy, that's probably why we're not friends. Now I'm freaky, but I ain't that damn freaky. We got to be willing participants in this. Like, come on. Even Anderson Cooper was looking at this woman like, what the fuck is going on here? What's going on here? This woman is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. But no. We're gonna act like we didn't hear, see nothing. And then she goes forth, and she didn't get money because of grape. She got money because Donald Trump wouldn't shut the hell up. Kept disparaging her. So she got some paydays, which I'm sure have been appealed. So no court of law has ever convicted Donald Trump of rape. And I could promise you, mira. If this was your tío, your padre, how do you say brother? Hermano. or some man in your family, your husband, your anybody, any man in your family being accused of rape, stop using rape as a political talking point, you fucktards. It is nothing to use lightly and be flippant and dismissive with. And this is a bitch who claims she was assaulted. I'm sorry. That's not, you don't flippantly just talk about rape and assault because you don't like somebody and accuse them of that because you don't like them. And give a damn if you don't like. I don't give a damn if I don't like you. I'm not going to accuse you of raping somebody or assaulting someone or violating someone in such a horrible way. Stick to the facts. But yeah, I hope he sues the living hell out of her. But she'll have all the right attorneys. She'll have the Soros attorneys. She'll have all the attorneys from her handlers, from her puppet masters. This woman does not have an independent thought. If you watch her live streams, she's one of those people that sound smart, but what's coming out of her mouth is just dumb. Typical communist rhetoric. You sit there and these people, yes, 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 AOC for president. Oh my God, you're so brilliant. This is a bitch that's never debated. She's never debated. The person she stole the seat from, she wouldn't debate him. Her handler said, nope, you can't debate. You're dumb. Because if you have to sit there and actually talk the issues, and we've seen her try to speak on issues, she's a complete whack job. She's not aware of the issues. I bet you, I can even promise you that she's never even read the Constitution thoroughly. I can promise you she probably hasn't. Because when you stand before the media and say that something's unconstitutional, which clearly is constitutional, yeah, you're dumb. You're not that girl. You're a pawn. Yeah. So yes, Trump, get your lawyers on it. Get your lawyers on it. Let's go. Let's get it popping because this woman needs to be humbled because she has not a humble bone in her body. She has no understanding of how defiling this is to actual victims. As someone who claims herself she's been assaulted. Now, I'm not going to say she's lying, but every one of them have been assaulted. Every one of them. Now, that can range from, oh, somebody complimented my dress to actual full-on grape. So with people like this, you got to be wary when they make accusations because they're professional liars. She is a professional liar. She has been hired to lie. That's it. One more thing before we roll out. We go from one bimbo to another one. But I think Kamala Harris is probably a bit she's a tick smarter. Right. She's a tick smarter because she I'm gonna shut up. Okay. I don't think Kamala Harris is dumb. I think Kamala Harris was in over her head. She overachieved. And then when it was time to show and prove, she couldn't. She couldn't show and prove. And we all knew that was coming. We all knew why she would not do interviews. We all knew why, she first didn't want to debate. She didn't want to debate anywhere where she would be challenged. Then she got the softball debate. And then even in that debate, if you listen to her answer, she's a complete whack job, right? Nothing going on upstairs. She deflected, and then what did she do? She baited Donald Trump, and this is why I was. If you ever go back to Trifecta Hour and watch the night we watched that debate, I'm yelling at Donald Trump because literally they're baiting you because they know she can't answer anything. So what's the other option? Trigger him so that we can turn the optics on Trump and make it seem like Trump lost it. Meanwhile, if you listen to her answers, she didn't answer a damn question. She didn't answer anything. She filibustered, and never answered a damn question properly. Even on the strongest issue she had was abortion. She couldn't even get that right. But AJ, literally, I remember hosting live streams, reading the transcript from the debate. This was the question, and this is what your candidate said. Well, Kamala still won. She won optics? I don't give a about optics. How did you answer the question? Oh, by deflecting, bobbing, weaving, and triggering Trump. Because we all know the one thing you don't do is insult his rallies. Those rallies are choreographed to a T. Donald Trump put a lot of effort in those rallies. You don't insult his baby. Those rallies were very, very important to him. But our favorite vice president, I'll be nice, had a podcast that was not released during the season. TikToker knocks Harris's weird take on never released interview. Quote, not good. Former Vice President Kamala Harris offered a take on so weird and not good in an interview with social media personality Kareem Rama that they both agreed to nix airing the footage. That's pretty bad. When we can't find anything, we can't find a redeemable anything. Rama, who hosts the popular series Subway Takes, where he asked commuters and sometimes celebrities their opinions, previously told the New York Times that he conducted an interview with Harris during the summer of 2024, but it was never released. Rama said in an interview clip with Forbes, Stephen Bertoni posted on social media Monday that Harris's take was so bad, he felt unfortunate. It didn't. He felt fortunate. It didn't make the cut. I guess that's him. Okay. Yeah, that's him. He looks like a sand. What? Let me shut up. No. We're gonna be good. Her take was really confusing and weird. Not good, Rama told Bertoni, and we mutually agreed to not publish it. And I got lucky because I didn't want to be blamed for her losing. Oh, trust me, you wouldn't have been blamed. I mean, the fact that she didn't go on Joe Rogan, the fact that she went on to Call Her Daddy. Not only did she go on the Call Her Daddy podcast, she had a set built and had them come to her. So you wasting campaign money to build a set for you to talk for an hour. Waste, just a complete waste. Anyway, her take was really bad, Bertrand said. It was really, really bad. It like didn't make any sense, Rama said, revealing Harris's take on bacon as a spice. Neither Harris nor Rama immediately responded to a request for comment from Fox Digital. Rama, who was Muslim, told the New York Times in a published story in November 2024 that Harris's team originally proposed she would share a hot take against people removing their shoes on airplanes, which thank God that's over. But Harris went on to declare that bacon was a spice, a food that Rama and other Muslims do not consume for religious reasons. That's why you get you some fake bacon. Rama, get you some fake bacon, bro. You can also have turkey bacon and banana peel bacon, tempeh bacon. You got options. You don't have to eat the swine. Anyway, think about it. It's pure flavor, she said, per the unaired footage obtained by the Times. The Times story said 2 campaign senior managers for Harris said the topic of bacon had been previously raised, while Rama and his manager said that wasn't the case. Harris's campaign reportedly apologized for her sharing her take on bacon and offered to refilm the episode, but Rama declined, according to the New York Times. Exactly. Why do we need to talk to this bimbo again? We good, Sway. We good. Oh, go cheese and bread. I can't do it. I can't do it. Kamala, we know you don't have the Zazazu. We know this, ma'am. And you lost. And the only reason why you got as close as you got was because of the mainstream media, legacy media, covering for you. The fact that you had enough funds in your campaign to change Google, literally. Like, remember, they scrubbed like all of the bad stuff about her, all her dumb takes, all her laughter, all of that stuff was pushed way to the bottom of the feed. Right. Everything great pushed to the top of the feed. All the other stuff, yeah, we're gonna suppress all of that. When you have the means to do that, that should be considered election interference, to be honest. I would actually consider that to be election interference as well. But we all know Google is in on it. We know Google is politically biased. We all know Silicon Valley is politically biased. And a lot of those techies are. But it is what it is. Kamala, good luck. You've been advised not to run for governor of California because, first of all, these big donor Democrats don't want to mess with you anymore after you blew all of this money and then ended up in a deficit and had nothing to show for it. Yeah. But, it is what it is what it is. Good luck on whatever your future endeavor is. And that is our show for today. I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Operative share, comment, subscribe. If you would like to support the channel, you can head over to our merch store, AJsRANTroom.com. AJsRANTroom.com. I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Tuesday, and I will catch y'all tomorrow. Peace.